Hello, 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 hello. I'm already live. Hi, babe. Thank you.
I turned that doorknob with one finger.
Did you?
Yeah, it's talent.
Hey, I really miss our little music in the background.
Me too. I'll go.
Isn't it strange without it?
You keep singing and I'll go do that.
Okay. Well, I don't know if I'm going to continue singing, but I will. Yeah, I will continue doing what I'm doing. Hi, every witch. How are you? It's Gussy. Nice to have you here. Oh, my goodness. It's Wednesday. It is December 3rd. This light is awfully bright. Let's see. I don't know if I can continue with that one. Is that better? Maybe that's a little better. It's just a little softer on the eyeballs. I've been working on the computer quite diligently the last while, working on the e-zine, which is ready to come out any day now. And also the class that Grim and I are undertaking. It's a year and a day long class that some of our folks are joining us on. So that's going to be, it is really cool. But I'm spending a lot of time in front of the computer, so. But I love doing that. Part of my passion, if I'm allowed to, do what I love to do, I love graphic design. And I have loved graphic design since I was a young woman, a young little girl. I remember I would, in elementary school, I would organize plays just so I could design the posters for that. I'd have all my little friends involved in, productions of Snow White and, those were the days. Yes, they were indeed. They were indeed. Well, reminiscing. Great way to start a Wednesday. It is 420 tea and taro. Although I'm not drinking tea today. This is cranberry juice, which, if you know, you know. It's also one of my favorites. So, hold on. There's usually a pucker involved, so give me a second. Ooh, yes, I love it.
I don't blame you.
It gets you right here, Anyways, welcome, welcome. Yeah, maybe the tea isn't the tea that I drink. Maybe it's the tea that we spill. No, we don't. We're not really tea spillers, are we?
No, but we take a tea break from time to time.
We do take a tea break from time to time.
Wasn't it cranberry juice that you liked heated up, or was it that other juice?
It was the berry blend.
You liked that one?
Berry blend is my berry favorite. Yeah.
I thought cranberry was your very favorite.
Well, I do love cranberry.
But something supplanted it, because we just did the berry blend as a new one.
No, it was good. I like it better than cranberry alone.
Wow.
Yes. So anywho, now that Grandma and I are done with our shopping list, how are you all doing out there? How are you doing? I can see a lot of our friends are here that we love. And I can see, let's see some comments down here, Graham. Let me just read. Christy Reed is here. Hello, Christy. And LJ is here. And V is here. I think T is here. Angela Turley, Karen Berkentine Springer. Rob says hi from LJ, her husband.
Yeah.
And I know that LJ tagged Jerry, and I'm sure if Susan isn't here yet, she is off. I think she had an appointment this afternoon. So please, if there's someone you know, please tag them and let them know that we're live. And yeah. Here we are.
I got a lapdog.
You do have a cute lapdog.
She's laying on me.
Yes, she is. I should, if I can get that, but I don't know if I can get it to.
No, it's all right. She's already done.
she's not.
I guess she's not laying on me, though.
There. There's Grim and Callie. Yes, yes, yes.
Isn't my girlfriend cute?
The rest of our room, and here I am again. Thank you, Susan. Oh, and Victoria Williams is here. Hello. And Jane Husky and Kaylee Bradford. Hello. And tooled up here, Brandon. Meow, 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 he says. Oh, my goodness. Michelle Kleckler Caps is here. And I did say Susan, yes. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of that's the vibe for today. That's the group that we got. And it's a great group indeed. And I've had topics kind of bouncing around in and out of my head all day long. And I think so has Grim, actually. But what I wanted to do today was to take some time to light our candle.
Oh, I'm getting corn cob.
Light our candle.
Oh, just look at the corn cobs. Oh, that's a whole lot.
And just kind of find our way, close your eyes if you're able to, find our way to the circle. Find our way to the circle here, where we gather when we can, when we're able. Find your way here. Finding the calming and peaceful energy.
Lay down.
In touch with not only the sights, the sounds, the smells of the room around you or the space around you, but also the sights and the sounds of the view on your screen, watching Grim and I and Callie settle into this 420 time zone where we are able to find some peacefulness. This is in the cauldron of purple energy that we've created together so long ago. This has been stirring in the cauldron since about 2015. And some of you have been there since that time, helping us generate this healing light wave of energy. Know that that energy is available to you at all times. Not just that energy, the energy around you, the very energy around you. But if you are vibing with some purple door witches, let me tell you, you are vibing with people who strive for being their authentic selves. You are vibing with people who are trying to speak their minds politely, with integrity, right? You are vibing with people who believe that there's a very wild part of some of humanity, and we happen to call that Fae. We are not afraid of addressing our shadows. Hell, most of us have been living in shadows for most of our lives. A lot of us come from homes that, needed a little improvement. A lot of us have struggled with where we've been. Some of us have come forward with generation after generation of patterns that are negative patterns that affect us health-wise and energy-wise, and we are struggling and still striving to release those binds that tie us so that we can exit this world when it's our turn with fewer baggages and fewer, things resting on our shoulders. And when we do that, when we find our way through that muddle and mess, we not only emerge as the pink lotus blossom emerges out of the muck, but we also release that trait, that pattern, so that future generations don't have to experience it the way you did, the way that perhaps your mother or father did, or maybe both. We've said many times, we are broken people raised by broken people. But I don't want you to get the impression that I think the word broken is a bad thing. Because I don't think the word broken is a bad thing. I think the word broken means that you've had some lessons hard learned. I believe it means that you have faced adversity when you perhaps didn't always have the courage to do so.
Broken but mended, and along those scars, along those breaks, you're stronger than you've ever been before.
Exactly. Broken but mended. And as you mend those fissures where the brokenness occurred, not only does it become healed, it becomes strengthened, bonded tighter, and able to withstand more than what it was previous.
That's what kind of creates the beautiful mosaic of who you are.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So I also have a selenite wand. Brought it with me today. I thought I would just do a little bit of clearing here. Just a little clearing from this group of folks gathered in this liminal space with us right now. Because, who doesn't need a little dusting and cleaning once in a while, right? A little dusting and cleaning. a little reset energy.
You were talking, Gussy. I can't get this out of my head because as you were discussing the shadow boxes and whatnot, one popped open on me that I didn't know I had. I don't remember the words that you used. What you said when the shadow box opened. What I've got to say is, I understand my addictive personality, and especially towards sweets, sugary foods. My father used to use cookies and ice cream as reward and punishment. Now that that's no longer lorded over me, I reward myself with it indulgently. I have a sweet tooth. And as you were talking and I was thinking about this, that shadow box opened, and I go, well, is this truly a shadow box or is this my imagination? I realized there was a time in my life where sweets were whatever, but the older I got as I was being raised by my father, and the more frequently those treats were used as reward and punishment, the more I started to want the sweets all the time.
Right.
But but I'm also rebellious.
Right. In case you didn't know.
It's just, I like it when a shadow box opens.
Oh, absolutely.
I really do.
Do any of you have a shadow box around sweets or other types of food out there? I know that I do. It's something I've kind of battled with my entire life. It's good when you have insight on things.
Yeah, I didn't think I had an issue or a battle with food until I realized that battle was actually my self-control.
Right.
With what I chose to eat. Because my definition of lunch was 3 Snicker bars, a Twinkie, and some chocolate milk for how many years?
Not after you met me, unless you hid it.
I cut it down to 2 Snicker bars and a chocolate milk from time to time. But I did have an issue with food. If my default was the supersized chocolate milkshake at the drive-thru, it's because I can. It was my rebellious. And you've noticed now I don't do that. So I've actually dealt with this. So did I just look into a shadow box that I've already started working on without realizing I was working on it?
Sounds like it. Sounds like it was already on its way to being resolved. But it's divine timing, though. It's all about. It was revealed to you when you needed to see it, which was evidently right now. So, but that's how shadow boxes work sometimes. Yeah. And I know that there are folks out there that are even sitting here with us right now that have had those shadow box moments where, we've said something that triggers a thought or a feeling or an emotion about something, takes them back a while and, start remembering things. And it's, once you get to a different perspective, once you let go of some of the brokenness issues surrounding a particular issue with a person or surrounding the person themselves, perhaps, once you get to the point where you can, shrug your shoulders and walk away and not get wrapped up into these intense arguments anymore, or you can feel okay loving them just as they are and not have expectations beyond that. Whoa, that was something I wasn't expecting to say. Why'd you make me say that? That's going to be a whole other can of worms. No, we'll just kind of put that out there.
Did anybody respond to if they had? I don't remember exactly what your question was, but it was in regards to shadow boxes.
Yeah, Victoria V says she's eating chocolate as you speak. Sabrina Massey, hey, catch you later on, lady. I hope you come back. Sounds like it's going to be a good discussion here. Tool says he's y'all vibe with me, and I'm a mixed box of fun. I think on so many different levels and in different zones and different planes, and as part of my name suggests, I'm a safe person to be open and open around. I'll always be tooled up. Yes, indeed, or do. You sure shall. Guys, I was trying to remember when we first met, Tool. It was like way back.
It was way back.
Way back.
It was before the Covenstead.
It was before the Covenstead, yes. Yes, it was. And then people were talking about their on-off switch. Kaylee Bradford says her on-off switch must be broken. Chrysalis Dup says, I'm eating sweetbread right now. Yes, major food issues related to family my entire life. We got a spammer on here. You know what, Olatan, just move along. This isn't that kind of a live stream, and none of these people are going to do anything with you except...
From right there,
I can? What can I do?
On his name or his...
Oh, there we go.
Gone!
I just blocked him. Please don't, fall victim to that sort of thing. If you need me, you know where to find me. If you don't want a reading from me or Grim, I know other psychics and folks, spiritual guides that I would recommend because Grim and I have come to respect their integrity. And so if you're interested in that, if you don't want a reading from Grim or I, contact me anyways. I might just be able to put you in touch with somebody that you would really like to talk to. But more than that, I don't feel it's my place to go out there and tell you to text me about that sort of thing. I don't know when you're ready to talk about it. It's up to you to figure that out. So when you get those scam artists that say, text me for a reading, you gotta just, what you gotta do is stop for a minute and pray for all the unlucky souls that are too daft to not fall victim to it. Because
Define daft.
Daft meaning just not being aware of the possibility of it being a scam.
Yes.
Some folks are so desperate for information, and there's a lot of fear out there right now, and people don't exactly know where to turn. And so it's unfortunate that people like that will offer their services, and really the only thing they're after is the cash. That's the only thing. The only thing. They'll even go on my...
Not so much anymore. Not only do they, if they can get cash, great, but if they can also hack your account, your Facebook account.
Yes.
Or hack your friends' Facebook's accounts.
Yes.
It's not just, in responding to them, you expose yourself not to just losing some money. You expose yourself to the potentiality of losing your Facebook account.
Right. So y'all know where to find me if you need me. I won't send you a text and say, I might say I had a dream about you, because that does happen from time to time. But, if I do that, I'm not expecting you to book a reading with me or anything like that. That's just not how we operate. And
so back to shadow boxes. There.
Yeah,
we were
shadow
having a good
boxes.
talk about that.
We were.
So anybody there respond to they've had shadow boxes just pop open on them and not be an issue really in the end? I don't know. It was just kind of cool. I just realized I was working on one I didn't know I had.
So Shannon asks, why is food such a shadow relating to our past? Michael and I both struggle with that. And the thing about that is that's
I'm writing
interesting.
a story about that right now. It's up on my phone.
The thing that's interesting about that is, like, even though I struggle with my weight right now, being overweight, Grim struggles with his weight, being underweight. We both have issues with food. As he just uncovered his light bulb about his sweet tooth, I also have issues surrounding food, and I know that food has been often used to comfort folks when they're feeling down or crying. When children were crying or upset, I mean, hell, they used to put honey or sugar on the end of a pacifier and stick it in my mouth to shut me up. I know that, and I'm not blaming my parents. It was the thing at the time. It was, what...
That was recommended practice.
Right, what folks were telling each other to do. So, but I need to let go of some of those things. I want to let go of those unnecessary patterns of behavior. And I know I also struggle because for me, weight is somewhat of an armor.
Mm.
I think a lot of folks that have had a battle with sexual trauma in some way, and this is a vague statement, so it certainly doesn't apply to everybody, but I know a lot of us that will...
a lot of the people you counsel through readings.
Right. And not all of them are overweight. Some of them are struggling to keep weight on. But it seems to be that's one of the core, physical issues that I see repeated a lot in those situations.
If I can keep my body unattractive, I won't be abused again.
That's exactly what I think subconsciously repeats.
Yeah.
If I don't look good on the outside, I'm safe on the inside. Right? I don't think it's a conscious thing that we think, and I don't think all of us feel that way. I just know that that's one of those armors that I've had for so long. It's good to let go.
I know food issues run deep for a lot of people, and I think it's a very common thing. It's because right off the bat, food is instinctual. We need food to survive. So beyond that, it's hard to get addicted to air.
Yeah.
So the first addictions, the first cravings, the first needing to be filled go way back to the roots of mankind. That's what I'm writing about. I wanted to read that to you yesterday.
Oh, yeah, I remember you were writing that.
Our relationship with food isn't something that we can say started today or the day we were born. Our relationship, genetically speaking, with food goes back to the roots of humanity.
Oh, yes.
And every other creature in the world, other than man, pretty much migrates for food. They go to where the food is.
Right.
When the food moves, they move, and they go in this pattern. Mankind was the same way as we evolved from whatever creature, whatever animal we came from, and slowly became sentient, walking on the 2 feet. We wandered for our food until one day a seed popped in the mind of somebody that said, let's plant these things. And from that moment on, food addiction, food traumas, food issues became an issue because mankind became stagnant.
We became
Dependent
on the crops, on
Yes.
the cattle. We
not on the natural cycle and flow.
Right, that makes sense.
So food became one of the very first
Right. Well, and I think,
insecurities, maybe?
yeah, I believe that's a good way to put it. And I know, speaking from an energetic standpoint, when you talk about food, I mean, the density of food makes a big difference on your energy. And I'm talking about the energetic density.
Yeah.
Certain foods are of a higher vibrational frequency than others.
Yeah.
You know, you could imagine that a cup of cottage cheese doesn't carry the same heavy frequency that T-bone steak carries, for example, right? You can almost feel the difference in the levity of their energy, even as I'm talking about it, I'm sure.
We want something light, we eat a salad or a piece of fruit. If we want something hearty and...
Right. And you have to remember that part of what we're sensing when we talk about that density is when you're eating a steak, that was a living, breathing creature at one point. I know that we kind of gloss over that a lot because we just go to the grocery store and grab a little tub or whatever, a pallet of beef or whatever.
The pallet of beef.
I don't know, the little thing. I don't know what that's called. The little thing.
A pound of beef.
That's what it is, a pound of beef. Thank you. Pallet.
I've been doing all the shopping for a long time, haven't
You've been
I?
shopping since COVID. Yeah, absolutely. And even before that, but specifically now.
Yeah.
Anywho.
So foods do have those frequencies.
Yeah, foods have, vibrational frequencies themselves. And certain foods lay heavy in your gut for a while. And it isn't just about the decomposition of the food in your stomach. It's about the energetic dispensation, if you will. What are you ingesting as you eat this? And here's the thing. Now, don't start going, oh, God, Gussie, you're going to ask me to be vegan. No, I'm not. I'm not going to ask you to do that because I'm not vegan. I like a burger now and then. I like chicken. I like fish. I like eggs. I like cheese. I've done the vegan thing, and I enjoy a variety of foods. Some people would call that disgusting, and that's okay. To each his own. To each his own. That's fine. I'm not begrudging anyone eating a vegetarian or vegan lifestyle at all. I think, if that works for you, great. Because I wish I didn't like to eat meat like I do. But when I go for a while without it, I really do miss something. I get cranky without it.
There's enough carnivore in there.
Yeah, something I need, I guess I'm not evolved enough or something. I don't know. But, anywho, what was I going to say about that? It doesn't mean that when you take a bite of that food that you're, oh my God, here's a spiritual brick I'm eating. Donk. It's not like you're dooming yourself with every bite. But know that as you take the bite, before you even start your meal, bless the food. Hopefully the person that prepared it was preparing it with a little kitchen witchery, with some good intentions involved. But when the plate sits down in front of you, say you're at a restaurant or whatever, take a second to bless your own food. I know that feels a little Christian-y.
It does feel Christian-y, but the whole concept behind it is
you're giving it an intention.
You're giving it an intention. You're getting ready to take something into your body that you inherently know is needed, is good for you. You need the vitamins, the minerals, the food aspect of it. But energetically speaking, we don't know the environment in which the ingredients that made up that meal were grown.
Right.
The disposition of the people, the emotional disposition of the people that harvested or slaughtered or packaged or shipped and transported and cashiered your food. We don't know the energetic integrity of your food chain.
Right.
Well, we do. We do know the energetic integrity of our food chain. So when it lands on your table, it's important to bless it. Right. It's important to release all the energy that does not serve the greatest and highest good of your body.
I don't always make a big production of it. Sometimes Grim and I will do it together as a team. But most of the time we'll just bless our own plates and it's just a matter of just kind of saying something in your head and really intending that food finds its way into your stomach, into your body in a way that's useful for you so that you can digest it properly, and that whatever nutritious value is needed from that meal, that it goes to serve itself well wherever your body needs it the most.
Regardless if it's a salad or a steak.
Yes.
That food was sacrificed for your benefit.
Right.
Ultimately, you're taking dominion.
Exactly.
Over another life vibration.
Yep.
And now that's natural. Don't take guilt by this. I know some people have went, Dominion, but that's what it is.
It is. And it's uncomfortable to talk about that because I don't like to think about.
To that depth of.
Right. But it is what it is.
It is. But there's no way in the world that nature could sustain itself if grass was never grazed.
Right. Right. It's the whole circle of life.
The whole circle of life.
Oh, I get it. We got some messages here.
Cool.
Susan said you need a forklift for a pallet. We are going to have a lot of spaghetti and meatballs. That's all I've got to say. LJ says she's not a big meat eater. Yuck. Yeah, we don't. Are we big meat eaters? No, but...
Moderate.
Yeah, we are. Whoops, there's a card that fell out. There we go.
But without your shirt, I would say with what meat we do eat, we're trying to be very conscious of what sacrifice that chicken made to make it to our plate.
Exactly. And Tool just said, how can you expect to get any pudding if you don't eat your meat? And yes, say thank you for your food before you eat it, regardless of religion.
Yeah.
Yes, and also regardless of if it's plant or animal.
Yeah.
Or whatever, because you, like Grim was saying, you won the battle. You're consuming that, whatever that is.
And to put it into perspective, we thank the intangible elements for their participation in our existence. We thank earth, air, fire, and water.
Right.
Doesn't it stand to reason that food is part of that?
Right. Well, and I think if you're a person out there that kind of struggles with your weight and nutrition in some way, start to consider that. Not that it is a prayer to, God for providing this, but it's more like Thank you to the food for growing. Thank you to the food for providing its life essence. It is honoring the very fabric that's creating the meal in front of you. It is every molecule and every cell. It is connecting with that and intending that food, as it enters your body, goes to where it's needed most. Whatever nutritious value you can pull from it, let it be, consumed and distributed as needed. And I think the more we talk to ourselves and talk to our bodies and interact with what we put into our mouth, doesn't it just make sense? I mean, if you grow your own garden, you know that you start from seed and it becomes this little tiny seedling, and you nurture it, you care for it like a little baby, even though it's a little green thing and so delicate. But it is understandable that it has a life force that might not be as mighty as, a huge buffalo or cattle or whatever. As apparent as, correct. Ooh, that was good. Yes, that was. So anyways, got some comments here. Lavetta says, food is more than just a means of bodily nourishment. It influences our mental, spiritual, and emotional development and extract all of the energy of the food. Indeed.
If we eat poison, we become poison.
And Emily says, our farm fresh eggs are always gathered with lots of love and healing vibes. Like yes, as a steward of animals, you do have to enter their space, especially if you're collecting eggs or harvesting in any way like that. You have to honor. That's exactly what we're talking about. La la la. What else?
The way I look at the eggs in some ways is the chicken put in a lot of energy to create that egg.
Yes, indeed.
And the whole purpose behind that egg was to create the next generation of chicken.
Right.
And we're denying that energy.
Right.
It's what its intended purpose was.
Right. Got a card. Popped out of the deck as I was shuffling just a little while ago. This is a card for all of us today on Wednesday, November 3rd, 2024. Just a few days into the new year, this new and healthy and prosperous year ahead of us. There's a lot of debate out there, especially in the pagan world. Some folks believe that the end of the year is on Samhain. That's the new year. October 31st marks, a time where a new season begins abruptly, right? That's winter. That's fall, winter. And other people believe that it actually begins on March 1st, which is comparably essentially the first day of spring or thereabouts, which is a time of growth and renewal and moving forward. So the whole thing about, January 1st being the first day of the new year, I know there's debate about that. And one of the things that I loved having this kind of discussion in my own head about this yesterday. Someone had posted, I think it was Copper actually, that said, it's nothing really grows in the dark. So this time of year isn't a good time to start new things that are going to be growing. It's a good time to go dark, as we've talked about in the past. It's a good time to kind of sort out what you have under the soil so that when spring does come, you're able to, bounce forward and into this growth spurt. And that is a lovely concept. But I don't want you to feel as if you're feeling motivation to step forward in a direction. Don't let the time of year throw you off. If you're actually feeling connected to that, don't worry that making the decision to move forward will just doom it. Because you might be moving forward in little steps so that by the time, I'll back up here for a minute. I made a resolution a couple nights ago. I told you resolutions are commitments to yourself. And for me, you know, collectively, a lot of freaking people around the globe celebrate New Year's Eve together. And we mark the changing of the year from 2023 to 2024. And I don't care who you are, the Muggle year, Gregorian calendar, but there's still a lot of energy involved in that. There's a lot of goodwill. There's a lot of hope. There's a lot of
love making.
Yes, there's a lot of changes implemented. And how can you not jump on that bandwagon? But here's the thing. What you plant now, what you've got, you don't even have the seeds yet. You've got the soil ready and you're getting ready to put the seeds in. Maybe you put a few in, right? But by the time you're ready to recommit to everything, it's going to be ready to burst forward. It's going to burst forth out of the seeds that you did plant. They're going to be ready to move forward when March 1st does roll around. It's not that far away. So if you've been hearing some of that out there back and forth about how to celebrate the new year, you know, I think seasonally, we get a little conflicted with the one-time change of the year on December 31st into January 1st every year. And I don't know where I was headed with that, so I'm really hoping that you're going to jump in here any minute, because I've been yapping away for a while.
No, you have lots of good things to say.
Oh, okay.
Any more comments?
I don't think so, because suddenly the slate was wiped clean, so...
No, any more
Oh.
comments?
I thought you were talking about my comments.
Ah.
Hold on.
I'll be 100% honest with you, though, Gussy. For the last few minutes, I've been sort of drifting in my own thought cloud about a few things, and I don't even know where I was at, because I've been listening to what you say, and it sparks a little ooh. And
like Alicia said, it's a good time to gather supplies, and it really is. But if you get a hankering to try the supplies out, don't let that hold you back. You know, if it's February and you want to, you know, start whatever project you had in mind, give it a go, at least a trial run, and see how it goes.
Yes, just for the fun of it, start a trial seed start tray, and right now I do that all the time. I'll start a trial. Did I get my soil good? Is this tray going to work? With lighting, because I want to do an indoor grow this year for a while. So no, play. Start dreaming.
Absolutely, you have
Start dabbling in that energy well in advance of when you actually put the seed in the ground.
Right.
That's all intention, baby.
This card makes so much sense. It's the one that popped out for the group. I've been holding it this whole time. I didn't tell anybody what it was. It's the 9 of Swords card. And it speaks exactly to what Grim is talking about right now. A lot of times we hold ourselves back, not because we're necessarily fearful, or it doesn't necessarily mean we lack confidence in moving forward. But I think a lot of us have this, we have this great intention. We have the intention of gathering the supplies, so we have them to start this project when we're ready. But a lot of us fail to start the project. We'll gather all the supplies, and by the time we've got them all ready to go, either we no longer are interested in the project anymore, or we've moved on to something else. So now we feel obligated to finish that first before we go back to the original project in the first place. And it really becomes a muddly mess as you get a little farther down that rabbit hole. How many people know what I'm talking about?
Gathering the supplies takes energy, and it's also muggle. It's mundane for the most part.
Oh, I loved it. Because I'm thinking art supplies.
Well, there you okay.
Send me on a trip to an art supply store, and that is a muggle task that I love.
I misspoke that one. You're right.
Send me to an apothecary.
Gathering the supplies is
garden.
fun. I was just thinking of like our daughter Miss, when she's planning on going to a movie or planning on buying a new book. She delves into the history of the movie or the history of the book or the history of the TV show.
Yes.
She makes a production. They make a production out of gathering the supplies.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So when it's time to activate, when it's time to go to the movies or to read that book or to draw that picture or to whatever, she's all in.
Do you know what I'm talking about though? That moment where, you're planning to activate and then it's almost like you skip right over the activate button and next thing you know, it's
too late.
Yeah.
The moment's gone.
Do you ever, do you have that experience?
Oh yeah.
Do you all have that experience?
I think for me, what it stems from is I hate, and you know this about me, incompleted projects. That doesn't mean I complete my projects.
I was going to say, wow.
But it's just, I hate to see stacked up incomplete projects.
Right.
That's one of my things. Where was that going? What was your question?
I don't know anymore,
I just
actually.
derailed myself at the thought of how many projects I've got.
But
right
take
now.
a look at this card, because this Nine of Swords card.
I don't have my glasses on, so that one's a smear. That one's literally.
Okay. Well, this one usually means that we're somehow holding ourselves back. And boy, that topic comes up a lot. It seems like that's a reoccurring theme. And I believe that it's part of the process of letting go. So don't take that as a scrutiny that, more, I'm holding myself back again. The thing is, I think that's how we move forward. When you're a little child and you're learning to walk, you inherently, most of the time, know that the first step is learning to crawl. It's a natural thing. We learn how to crawl on our knees first. We get safe at that level with that perspective, and then we move up. And a lot of times we walk holding on to things for a while till we get our steady balance. And that's all natural.
And the thing is unlike, I just thought of this, a child doesn't give up trying to walk when they fall down.
No, they don't. They get back up and try to walk again.
But at some point in our lives, when we fall down, we stop getting back up. Falling down meaning when we fail at something, we give up so easily anymore. So, but a child doesn't give up. They'll keep trying to talk.
Yeah, but the point that you're taking it in a different direction.
Am I? Okay.
Yes. But now I don't remember what we were talking about. Oh, for heaven's sakes. Children. Oh, I can't remember. Grammar. Anyways, holding ourselves back. Right. Oh, that's what I was going to say. When you are a child and you're learning to walk, you do it in stages. You kind of build up to it. The same thing goes for learning to let go of shadows and learning to let go of griefs and fears that are holding you back, keeping you behind the bars, holding you back with fear, not letting you really be your true shining self, but keeping you somehow tampered down. I think that rather than seeing it as something that we're doing to against ourselves. Because when I think about letting go and I'm holding myself back, that sounds so negative. Like, I don't do it I don't do it on purpose. So let's lighten the load a little bit, because I'll bet you don't do it on purpose either. Let's lighten the load and imagine that we're not holding ourselves back per se. We are just learning how to walk at this level. And as soon as we feel comfortable, we will allow it to level up a little bit higher. I think we are constantly learning.
Take the escalator up to the next floor.
Constantly learning, constantly kind of elevating ourselves as we do, shifting our perspectives higher, and seeing the world from a different point of view. I think that a lot of times we berate ourselves and we make ourselves feel like we're somehow less than or not enough in the spiritual world because we don't spend enough time, we don't meditate right, blah, 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 blah. There's so many things that we scold ourselves for. But really, just try to step out of your own way on that, because you really are on your own individual path, and there's really no wrong way or right way to do it.
And that's how we lose our magic, really, is when we hold ourselves back. The only person that we're hurting is ourselves.
Right.
For the most part. We hold ourselves back because we're fearful of what other people will say or think or feel or do against us.
Right.
In those moments. And that's not hurting them, holding ourselves back. That's rewarding them.
That's giving them dominion over you.
Giving them dominion. So every time we do that, we're validating the shadow.
Now, that's not to say you should just, like, shove aside your friends and spouses and family's opinions of things. I mean, that's not how that goes either. But
when it comes to truly living your next best step, living your life for yourself,
yes,
holding yourself back is a detriment to truly living a magical life. And what we're doing when we do this, and this falls back on the only way we're going to fix the world, to stop breaking our children. Don't let our children hold themselves back. Don't hold them back. Let them.
How do you do that?
Awesome.
Don't think of pink elephants. Anyways,
I don't know. I know that I've held myself back in situations where I should have let my magic shine stronger.
Mm-hmm.
I should have let my voice be louder. I should have let myself be more noticed. And in the end, when I didn't allow those things to happen, I'm the only one that I'm the only one that noticed that I wasn't truly me.
You were the one that felt unsettled, incomplete.
Right. And the people that I did it for were fine. I was exactly what they expected. And then we do that to our kids. We teach our kids to be that way.
Well, that's why we're working on these shadow boxes, baby. So that we don't have to carry on these patterns of behavior that just, make us feel incomplete, make us feel less than, period. You don't even need to add another word on there. So, boy, we got some comments here. Let's see. Society messaging, ADHD and hyperdrive. I never give up. I try again. I thought my sight was lost until this weekend. Oh, my shit. That's... Wow.
Did you just say, oh, my shit?
Yeah, I didn't know. I mean, that's a huge thing.
Yeah.
She felt like a fraud. That's coming from Alicia. There's nobody holding a measuring stick against our progress but ourselves, right? Could have versus should have, says Susan.
Huh.
Lots of good comments.
Nobody holds his measuring stick against what? What was that one?
Nobody holds a measuring stick against you except for yourself. That's the only person that should. That's the only person that you don't think so?
I do think so, but other than maybe there's an exception, because don't I hold, or you hold, a measuring stick towards me and me towards you? Expectations. I'm going to go wear these slippers to a fine restaurant.
I knew you were going to bring that one up. I knew it. I knew you were going to bring that one up, you little...
Hey, they're cute slippers, though.
Well, that's a really good question, because you're right. Like, what Shelby said is absolutely true. That I'm going to read it the way she wrote it. There's nobody holding a measuring stick against our progress but ourselves. We're the ones that are really paying attention to our progress and judging it with a fine-tooth comb. We go over every nook and cranny, and we're very critical of ourselves.
Okay.
Right? But you're right. We do hold each other up to a certain standard. I guess we expect to a certain, because if we want to talk about Vibe Tribe, I mean, there's a reason that certain people are drawn together, because it feels comfortable and familiar when our energies are gathered in the same space. It's like sitting around with people you've known your whole life, and being able to express yourself freely as much as you can, and I know that we are all working on that in various degrees of success and failure, but we're all still here working on it, aren't we? Well, I just feel like we went through so many topics today.
I know we did.
I'm exhausted.
But I think what it boils down to, as far as my slippers go,
Oh no, the slippers.
back to the slippers, is you don't judge me as a person for wearing them out in public. What you do is say, I wouldn't do that myself. I think it's silly. I don't see the purpose and point behind it, but I'm not going to tell you don't do it, because you've never prevented me from wearing my
There
slippers.
is no way to prevent you from doing something that you really want to do, Grim.
Man, you make it sound like I'm a brick wall.
No, you're a werewolf through and through. People have said to me, well, just tell Grim that this is that you don't just tell Grim. He needs to arrive at the conclusion on his own somehow before a change is made. But you're doing good. Werewolves are very grounded. They're very grounded. They have a hard time shifting.
Which is a strength, too, though.
Oh, yeah.
I
rely very much on that groundedness. Absolutely. So,
well, we can at least let two feet out of the ground sometimes.
Yeah. Well, and you're constantly worried about me floating away, so...
We don't have to have all four paws just glued to the ground.
Funny.
We can dance around a little.
See why I love him?
But I know you would never demand that I not wear my slippers somewhere. You wouldn't. And
I wouldn't.
But with that said, I've had a realization that my rebellious nature to just be me does not need to supersede your comfort level all the time.
Well, I appreciate that, but I want you to be you.
I'm not my slippers.
I know that, but if that's like what you really want to wear, here's the thing, we're arguing over something. I think if you had found your shoes today, they were buried back there after that wedding the other day. So I think if you had had the time to find them, you wouldn't have chosen to wear your slippers.
Oh, I can't.
He wore his slippers today to a place that Miss Fussy Gussy was not so happy about.
But I choose to wear my slippers I'll walk to the store in my slippers.
I wear my slippers sometimes like that too, but not to,
Because Before 10 minutes ago, I would have said there's nothing wrong with wearing my slippers to where we went today.
We went to the doctor.
I would have said, but.
First time meeting a doctor.
But I can now understand that in that environment, if you're comfortable, the overall outcome of the situation is more important than me wearing my slippers.
Oh, I see where you're coming from. Yes, that is very accurate. I mean, but also it would have to be pursuant from your own thoughts, not me going, "Oh my God, you're wearing those slippers."
Well, that's just where it came from. So what I'm going to tell you is, if it's within my power in the future moving forward, I won't wear slippers just pell-mell wherever I go.
You'll give
I'll
some
be more
thought to it.
cognizant of
Okay.
your comfort level and the comfort level of the people that I would be interacting with in that environment.
Okay.
But they're good-looking slippers.
They are red and black plaid slippers. You know the kind. Anyhow, it was really good to spend
Two
some time.
shadow boxes today.
Oh my goodness! Help!
2 shadow boxes down.
I gotta live with this guy. No, I'm just teasing. I'm proud of you, and I'm glad. I know this 420 kind of bounced all over the place today, but I feel that we talked about all kinds of different topics, including compromising and letting go of shadow boxes and not holding ourselves back.
And werewolves are mean.
Werewolves are not mean. They're just stubborn. I'm telling you, Grim,
And
I
sensitive.
think Grim is having his period because he has been so sensitive all the last 24 hours.
Now you tell me all that you're sensitive. You say
These
weekly.
last 24 hours. So what you're really saying is, I'm like,
yeah, but I've been saying it with a lot of laughter.
oh,
I've
for
been in a
heaven's
great mood
sakes.
the last couple of days.
I love you, honey.
I love me too.
All right, y'all. I hope that you have a really fantastic evening. Don't forget tonight, 9 p.m., Pause for Peace. We really need you to do that because you know why? I don't know. You don't really need to, but I would love it if you did. Because it just combines our energy. It's the intention of sending peace and healing not only to yourself, which, take care of yourself first. Put your own oxygen mask on first. If you're not breathing, nobody else will be breathing around you either because you're not going to be able to help them, right? So you take care of you, make sure you've got what you need, and then send the rest of that energy outward from yourself. Whether you envision it with every out breath that you give, or you imagine that there is a wave of light emanating away from you, however you do it, take some time at 9 p.m., even if it's just a moment's pause. That's enough. But
I mean, you got 4 paws, let one up off the ground.
You've got 4 paws, let one up off the ground, says Grim. I like it. The other thing is, tomorrow's not 420 tea and tarot, but Friday will be, right? Mm-hmm. Friday will be. And I feel like there's something I was supposed to tell everybody.
E-zine.
Oh, yes, the e-zine is about to come out. Our topic for the month is the alchemy of the moon, and there's some really interesting bits of information in this particular edition.
Like why Grim howls at the moon.
There is that. And so look for that on our Patreon page. That's the best way to find us is through Patreon. You can also go to www.openthepurpledoor.com. We have some things for sale on there. We've been selling Angela's hats and Christine's wands and Siege's jewelry and Tiffany's soaps. And we're about to put up... Grammar. We're about... we're about to put some pendulums up, some of Emily's pendulums. So stay tuned. All of that coming out. And what else? I guess that's it.
Sign up for weekly Widdershins.
You could sign up for Weekly Widdershins, which is our weekly newsletter that goes out as well. Go to openthepurpledoor.com and sign up. That is free. You'll get little tidbits of information about what's going on in our life at the old church, and also what's happening on the Purple Door. So that's an easy way to stay in touch. And really, I think that's all. Witch Wave on the 28th of January. I keep thinking... this is it. Goodbye. And then I think it's something else. The Witch Wave is January 28th of this month. It's something that we do on the 28th of every month at 9 p.m. And we gather for a meditation and a healing session. It's about an hour. And again, that is free, but you do have to be a member of the Purple Door to participate. All right, everyone. I hope that you have a wonderful, lovely evening. And I hope that you stay magical.
Oh, you just dripped wax down your chest. Oh, that sounded bad.
Yeah, why did you say that before I hit? Shit, Grim, shit. Now everybody knows.